The wind didn't just howl, it screamed.
It was a relentless beast of ice and fury, tearing across the vast, empty plains and turning the world into a blinding vortex of white. In the midst of this frozen chaos, a man named Liam fought his way forward, his every breath a cloud of frost. He was part of a small rescue team, searching for livestock lost in the sudden, brutal blizzard. But what he found was not a sheep. It was a dark shape, a small mound against the endless, shifting snow. As he drew closer, his heart sank. It was a dog, frozen still, her body almost entirely swallowed by a fresh drift. Her fur was matted with ice, her head bowed. She looked like a statue carved from sorrow and frost. There was no sign of life. Liam felt a pang of guilt and sadness. They were too late. He knelt, reaching out a gloved hand to brush the snow from her face, a final, small gesture of respect. But as his fingers touched her frozen fur, a tremor ran through her body, a low, guttural growl, so faint it was nearly lost in the wind, rumbled from her chest. She was alive, but she refused to move. Liam, confused, urged her gently. "Come on, girl, let's get you out of here." He tried to lift her, but she resisted, anchoring herself with what little strength she had left. The growl returned, this time with a desperate edge. Her eyes, barely open, were not fixed on him with aggression, but with a fierce, unwavering plea. She was guarding this spot. But why? What could possibly be worth dying for in this frozen wasteland? Liam's gaze followed hers, down toward the snow packed beneath her belly. He saw it then, a slight, almost imperceptible shiver in the snow. It wasn't from the dog. It was from under the dog. With a surge of understanding, he began to dig carefully with his bare hands, the biting cold forgotten. He scraped away the layers of ice and packed snow beside her. There, nestled in a small, hollowed-out den she had dug, were 4 tiny puppies. They were huddled together, a trembling pile of life, shielded from the hurricane of ice by their mother's body. She had become their living wall, their last defense against the storm. She had not been waiting to die. She had been fighting to live for them. A wave of awe washed over Liam. He looked at the mother, whose eyes were now soft, watching his every move. The growl had vanished, replaced by a silent, profound trust. She understood he was there to help. "Okay, Mama, I'm getting you all out," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. One by one, he gently lifted the shivering puppies, their whimpers tiny and fragile. He unzipped his thick parka and tucked them inside against his chest, a makeshift incubator of warmth and safety. They quieted almost instantly. Then he turned back to their mother. She was utterly spent, her sacrifice having taken its final toll. With a great effort, he scooped her into his arms. She was lighter than he expected, a fragile frame of incredible courage. The journey back was a battle against the storm, but now Liam had a purpose that burned brighter than the blizzard's fury. He carried the future in his coat and their hero in his arms. Back in the warmth of the rescue center, the story unfolded. The mother, whom they named Bella, slowly recovered. She lay on a soft bed, surrounded by her 4 tiny miracles who tumbled and nursed, blissfully unaware of the sacrifice that had saved them. Bella's gaze never strayed from her puppies, but whenever Liam entered the room, she would lift her head and offer a gentle thump of her tail against the blanket. It was a thank you, an acknowledgement of a shared fight. Bella's story became a quiet legend, a reminder that in the coldest, most desolate moments, love is not just a feeling, but a shelter from the storm. It is the raw, defiant instinct to protect, to endure, and to hope, proving that the will to live is fiercest when you are living for someone else.